Good evening, it's Michael here from Michael's Card Art once again, and I'm going to do a very simple card this evening, and it got quite a few comments when I published it the other day, and it's this card here. And what I was doing, I was just sitting at home. It was pretty lousy weather outside, and I was sitting at home and I had all these die cuts that I had accumulated and I'd done nothing with them. And so what I thought I would do was just sit there and just make some cards with die cuts. And I wanted each card to be slightly different, but I also wanted to use stenciling as part of the makeup of the cards. So what I came up with were these four little beauties here. I call them beauties because I'm surprised just how good bits of cardboard look when they're stuck to another piece of cardboard, if you like. And I like the fact that we can color them and do whatever we like with the pieces, and it always ends up being good. Okay, so what I want to do with this one is just show you how I did this boho stenciling in the background. That's what generated a bit of interest, and also just how I pulled together the actual pieces of inventory to give you the end product. But it's quite, as I said, quite simple. We're going to use these dimensions in our card. It's a simple single fold card with the top layer here, and you can make these a dime a dozen if you needed to rush some cards out. So the measurements are for the base card 21 centimeters, scored at the halfway point, and by 13 centimeters. So 21 by 13, scored in half. And the top card is 12.5 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And that will just sit on there like so. Now, if you wanted to add another mat to that, if you like, just another piece of card, well, all of my cards, with each subsequent layer that I place onto the card, it's always less 5 millimeters at the top and 5 millimeters on the side. So the secondary piece of card would be 9.5 centimeters by 12 centimeters. That's if you wanted to do a mat underneath the card, which I do quite often, and I determine that at the time when I'm going to start assembling it. So there's your measurements anyway, but we're going to focus on just this top card here and the base card. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. I've got some work that I've done in advance for this card. We'll just keep that one there as a reference. And let's get out our first piece of card stock. Here we go, here, just a plain piece of white. Now, I happened to find this stencil in a junk shop, and straight away I snaveled it because I thought I can do stuff with this stencil. Now, it may be a little difficult to see it because it's white on white, and you've got this fluoro light shining in the background from my overhead. But what I needed to do to get this into play is I just stuck a couple of pieces of blue tack at the top there, and then I've attached my stencil like so, and just like that. Okay, nothing needed down the bottom there. Now, just with a blending brush, and I'm going to use early espresso, but look, any color could be used. The early espresso, if we use this as our reference, just gave it a really nice boho look, and it has a little bit of a retro look about it as well. So I'm using crumb cake, as I said, and all I'm doing is loading up the blending brush, and I'm then just dragging it over the stencil. Now, these frames on the stencil are not, they move around, so that's why I'm just being a little careful with. Now, you don't want to do that where you have a definite start and finish line. And when you're coloring down here, you only want to go a certain distance down. Now, what I've done is I've covered that whole area there with color, and I'm keeping the color at the top, just at the top. And so I've gone no more than a third of the way down to give you this white space in the center here. Now, when I lift this stencil off, you'll see what I mean by I don't want you to do this. And here we go. See how you've got the finished product here? Lines all the way down. So you've got this white area in here. So what I don't want you to do is start blending on the stencil in from the center. It always must come up from the from those areas you can't see, because you will get that jarring spot there. But anyway, we can hide that. So that's what the first part was, just getting that into place. I'll take those away. And the next thing we're going to do now is choose some foliage, some die cuts. And what I've come across is I want to have a bit of a lavender scene going on. So I've got a sprig of green, it is lavender. No, yes, it's lavender. Oh dear. A sprig of green lavender. I've also got some tall lavender cuts that I've harvested. And so we've got those. I've got also some lavender fronds. I've started colouring these pink and blue. I don't know whether I'll stay with that colour, but we've got those as well. And I've found this jerry can, or a milk can. So that's going to have a starring role in proceedings. Let me just reconnect this. And what I'm thinking of doing is this. I'm putting the lavender. Actually, let me get rid of this, because I'm looking in the camera and I'm not seeing too much other than glare. So let me make this a little easier for you. We've got our stencil card here. I've got a jerry can there. I'm going to be placing, I think the lavender will go best there, the jerry can on top of it. Behind the jerry can will be our, I'll probably keep these pink and blue. I've got a couple more here to go, so it'll be sitting like this. That might be enough. The jerry can there, and our fronds of lavender are going to sit inside the jerry can like this. And that's it. And we'll have a sentiment of sorts, but that's basically as hard as it gets. So what I'm going to show you now is just a technique on colouring the card, or colouring the die cuts. Now, I need a good strong green for that. My memory of lavender is that it's a good green, but it's a darker green. So I'm wondering, I might use evening evergreen along with garden green. Let's see how that goes. Now, most of you who have seen me before will be aware that I tend to use a dauber when I'm colouring. So let's just get this. Now what I want to do, that's the garden and this is the evening evergreen. What I want to do is I'll just start off with some evening evergreen. Now I'm going to pat that down so that it's got I'm going to just put this crumb cake away as well, now that I've noticed it there. Okay, so evening evergreen will be the base layer, so we've got a good shine of green there. Okay. Now all I'm doing here is daubing, and as the dauber hits, I give it a bit of a twist on the green, on the die cut. Now let's go with the garden green, and let's see how that's looking. Oh, good. Yes, I like that. Yes, it's good. Okay, that's looking like lavender. The lavender green, yes. Okay, good. All right, and that's about as much as I want to do. Bringing that to the light. Yes, that's very good. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, let's just place that like so. And I'll just... Now, my drying cloth, I can't see it. So I'm just going to use a tissue there. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to get our lavender fronds. Now, lavender has this mauvey, bluish color to it. So let's just quickly do the fronds of the lavender. What are we going to see? No, we're not even going to do that. We're going to just go with the blue and the the purple to give us our lavender colors. Now, the blue that I'm going to use is probably going to be a pretty peacock. So, pretty peacock, and I need to mix that with a bit of purple, and I might use a bit of gorgeous grape in there. Let's see how those two look together. The one thing about these cards, when they are so simple to make, I find when I'm doing, like I did in that batch there were 4 cards, I find I can keep going, and just the imagination just runs wild when I've got all the die cuts there ready to go. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just giving this a bit of a color. So you can see there's a bit of coverage, peacock blue coverage on this. Okay. And you know, it's funny, when I try to do colouring when I'm on video, it doesn't always work out the way that I thought it might. Now, what I'm doing here is getting the gorgeous grape on another dauber and just applying that in random spots. Okay, and there we go. We've got all right. I don't mind that. Might just need a little more blue. There we go. That's it. All right. So just building up the color slowly as we go through, and I don't think we can do much better than that. What can I do here? Yes. Okay. All right. Let's get these stems coloured off just in case they happen to protrude out of the can. So we've now got that, and that looks great with that there. Now, okay, so the pinks. Now I said we were going to use pinks and blues, and I still want to go down that path. So let's give these guys a bit of blue. Okay. And the pink, I'm going to use this Rococo Rose. Now this is a retired colour, but it's such a nice colour, and I use it every chance I can. I didn't even know this colour existed until I saw it on one of the retired Facebook sites for Stampin' Up! Products, and I just had to have it. Okay. All right. And just get some Rococo Rose in there. All right, and I think we're just about done with that as well. All right. And so those colours look quite nice there all together. All right. And the last thing we're going to do is colour up our can. Now, this should be a silver colour. So I'm just thinking silver, 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 and a bit of a copper colour. Let me see, silver. No, I think silver is where we have to go. Now, what have I got in the way of silver? I've got embossing powder. Or I've got pebble path. Or, let's see here. I think what I'll do is I'm going to do pebble path and brown. Let's see how this looks. And we might finish it with some embossing powder if we desire. Let's see. Now, when I colour various die cuts, I'm pretty rough with them, as you're going to see here. So I always just go around the edges with the first colour and give that a good going over. Now I'm pressing quite firmly on this cardstock here, and yes, I do get a lot of colour on my hands, but that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that grey is I find I get a better coverage when it's in my hand than if I just place it onto the tray. And I've got to be careful I don't break the handle of our milk urn. Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to move over to our soft suede, and that will be used just to, yes. Here we go. So dropping it, the dauber down onto the die cut, and just giving it a twist. Now look at the colour there; it's gorgeous. Yes, I like that. There we go. And what I'm doing is bringing the brown. I'm blending the grey and the brown together, and I'm bringing the brown, the soft suede, into the centre. Just a little bit more silver grey on the top there. And finishing off that copper colour. Oh, that's very nice. I like that. Oh, yes, very good. Oh, it has a nice retro look about it. It's great. I couldn't have. And then when you place it there, fantastic. Yes. So what did that take us? Just a couple of seconds. Okay, so now our colouring is done. Let me put these away. Who knew that pebble path and soft suede would look so good together? Here we go. Okay, let me just clean that up. All right. So I didn't end up getting my Stampin' Up! Glass craft mat. It hasn't come out yet. So I'm resorting to a piece of Perspex that I found online, which has got a few measurements on it, which are great for the sort of work I like to do. But it's not the Stampin' Up! Craft mat, unfortunately. Now, as I look in the camera and I look at these colours, it's not a good representation of colours. However, the ones in real life here look very good. Okay, I'm just having a moment. All right, let's start to get this underway. And what I will be doing is making the milk pail. I'll be putting that on dimensionals. And these little gems will sit in there like so. Excuse me. And that will sit vidas. And with these fronds here coming out to the side. All right. Okay, let's quickly get that glued into place. Now, I won't be gluing everything flat. I will have some bend and fold in here. I'd like some of this to stand up a little bit, like that. So, where I tend to glue in something like this is really down the vein, so that you've got that central point there and probably towards the ends. And that's about it there. There we go, like so. Now, that will be on dimensionals. So let's get those on. Okay, 1, 2. Now I want to keep the dimensionals away from the center if I can, because that way I can easily thread the stems through the milk pail. And what I normally do, and I don't know why I didn't do it on this one, is I normally bend this around so that it has this look about it. Okay, so there you go. There, that's the milk pail. And these will have just a little bit of glue on the random leaf up the stem, just so that it does adhere into the pot, or adhere to the card, I should say. Okay, so we've got one going in here, like so. I've got another one. See, just a finest smidge of glue. And here's the other one. Let's put that one over here. And this one can go in the center. Gasp. There we go. Now these will just slide in under here like that. All right, so let's get those in. So there's one. And there we go. And that might just be enough. If I overlap this one here, and you've got that. How simple is that? Now what I want to do is I want to get let me just see if in my stash somewhere I've got another. Oh, here I do. I've got one. What I want to do there is I colour that up. I want to put what colour was that? That's black. And I need, what do I need? Blue and gold is great for that. So, because I want these to be a couple that have just fallen off, I'm going to colour them and cut them. So let's just randomly put this down. and gorgeous grape. Okay. All right, I think that'll be fine. So with my scissors, where are they? There. So with these, I'm just going to snip this off and okay, and just a spot of glue and place those on, so it looks like they're fallen off the bush and just caught on. There we go. It adds just that little bit of a filler there. And glue once again. Here we go. I'll just get my putty stick here. And the finest amount of glue there. Okay, plenty. It's 1, 2, and 3. Where is it? There it is. One, 2, 3, and this one. Yes, that might be okay there. Or just here. Yeah. Okay. Now, as for a sentiment, I do like the colour of this. As for a sentiment, let's look at, do you know, I really, really like this sentiment here. I love this love one. And so much so, I'm going to use it again. And it's in the Quiet Meadow set. So let's just grab that one out. There it is there. And the corresponding stamp. It's hidden away here, I think. Yes, there it is. Okay. Let's place that one here. And I'm going to go with the espresso text. I've really steered away from using black in my card craft lately. Ooh, there's a lot of brown there. And the reason for that is, I'm not fully sure I can answer that, but I do like the fact that we can use other dark colours to give you an outline rather than the stock standard black. I'm just going to take this over and get it cut. There it is there. Okay. And what I need to do, and I should have told you, I need to get another, I want to cut out another one of these just as a backing board. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll just find a bit of that colour. And just a piece of brown or green, soft suede. we go, there's a piece. So I'll just quickly cut that. There it is. And I'm going to grab some twine. Here we go. All right. Now, why I wanted that second piece is for this. Because what I like to do is I like to place it like that, just so it looks like a batch of labels. And what I'm going to do, so I just glue that one, place a bit of glue there on there like so. This will sit like that. And I'll get some of this twine and then thread that through here. And what I tend to do is this. So get both ends together, get the tail together, squinch it up. And feed it through there. Feed it through the other two knots, or feed the other two legs through that to form a loop. If I can get my fat fingers out of the road. Okay. And then pull it tight. And then splay the two pieces of cardboard if they haven't glued themselves together already. There we go, like so. I'll place a little bit of glue there, so that holds that. And then, dimensionals, where art thou? And here they are here. Now I always, on my sentiments, I always place them on a glue, or mostly I place them on a dimensional. And the reason for that is because I want, let me see, where do I want this to go? I want it to go like that. Yes, just like that. Because when, let's say I was to give this to somebody or sell it, what I need to do is be able to get rid of that sentiment if it doesn't suit the new approach or the new owner or the new, I may change my mind or may want to make that a happy birthday card. So that's why I put all of my sentiments on dimensional, so I can just pull them off quite easily without scarring too much underneath the card. And I always make sure then that the new sentiment is slightly bigger so that it does hide any embellishments, any imperfections that I've created. Okay, now let's get it onto some backing card. And the colour I'd like to see on this one, let's see how a green or a blue or a brown, a soft suede might go better. Yes, I think that goes better with it. Yes, I'm going to go with that. In fact, I think I need a darker colour. Let's just have a look there. So I don't mind that either with the double mat. Okay, so that will make my base card a little bit larger because I don't really want to go and cut anything more off here. So my base card is currently, here's my measurements here. So if I'm going to go with a mat, then I'd have to make this smaller. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go outside my rule and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So the top card is this size, 10 centimeters by 12. So my base card will have to increase in size, and so too will this one. So this will now be, I'm just going to see which one do I want first. Yes, I want it like that. So if this is 10 centimeters by 12 and a half, I need to make, oh my throat, then I need to make this one 10 and a half, this one here, sorry, 10 and a half by 13. So let me go and do that first. So I've cut the insert for our card here, and I've got the early espresso and the white there. So it's the same, they're the same size as the mat. So we've got the white card here, which is 10 centimeters by 12 and a half centimeters, and this one is 13 centimeters by 10 and a half. Okay, and what I'm going to do for the center, I'm just going to stamp something here, and it's just going to be a bunch of lavender, and I'm going to stamp it from the lavender set that I just bought a couple of months ago from Stampin' Up, and it's the painted lavender, and I'm just going to get these pieces into play. I think that's the one, yes. Very plainly, I'll stamp that in early espresso. There we go. And I think I want it like so. Okay. Can you see that? And I'm going to put that on top, just like that. All right, without the ink, Michael. And here we go. Just like so. All right. Very good. All right. And just let's glue those into place. And center that. There we go. And this one, like that. Okay, and there's our card. Now, I did say a couple of gems. I don't use them very often, but I think, what was it? Oh, yes. I think in this case, we need to get some bling happening. And I can't think of anything better than a couple of gold butterflies. Yes, let's do that. Okay, I'm going to have everything crowding me in now. I'm going to do one here. And just put it here on our little there we go, one like that, and I think a little one over here, making his way up to a lavender bush, like so, and I think one more over here. Voila. And there you have it. All right. A stenciled card with die cuts, which we all have a gazillion of. And I'm looking in the camera. I don't so much like that blue in the camera, the peacock, the pretty peacock. It just looks a little bit too washed out. However, in real life, it's a nice card. And there you have it. So, using our stencil to create a boho effect with plenty of white space here. Now, this could be filled up with anything that you like, but it certainly draws the eye to that empty space. Die cuts that we've just coloured, some dimensionals to give some height and texture, and an inside stamp. Very nice. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope you've learned something. But most of all, I hope to see you next time on Michael's Card Art. Thank you very much.